Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to the football show on PLZ Soccer, sponsored by Arnold Clark. I'm Gabriel Antoniazzi. No Peter Martin for the next week, so you'll have to put up with me for the coming 5 days. Let's see if these three in the studio can. It's Barry Ferguson, Alison McConnell, and Alan Ruff. No, not Peter. He's not here all week, as I've said. There's plenty to look at, though, and we're going to start with the Betfred Cup final. But here's what's coming up. So yes, Celtic won their 10th straight domestic trophy in a row with a 1-0 win over Rangers at Hampden Park. We can have a quick look at what happened.
Celtic won their 10th straight domestic trophy yesterday with a 1-0 victory over Rangers, but the scoreline suggests little about the game itself. The Gers were utterly dominant for the majority of the game and will be wondering how they did not win. The weather at the National Stadium was biblical, but the fans still turned out in their thousands. Ryan Jack came closest early on before Alfredo Morelos saw two efforts thwarted by the immovable Fraser Forster. The second half started in the same vein, Forster flicking the Colombian's header over the bar. Suddenly, with the introduction of half-fit Odson Edouard, Celtic were lifted and Christopher Julien turned in Ryan Christie's in-swinging free kick. Replay showed later that he was half a yard offside, even if Neil Lennon isn't so sure.
I've not seen it back yet, but it might have been the rub of the green we got from the referee, the first one all day. First decision that went our way.
The defining moment was yet to come, with the impressive 18-year-old Jeremy Frimpong shown red for his challenge on Morelos in the box. However, the forward could not beat Forster from 12 yards, having been handed the duty from captain James Tavernier, with Gerrard defending the decision.
No. He was the nominated penalty taker. It was nothing to do with James passing the book or anything like that. I decided that we needed to change that up.
The resistance could not be broken and the champions held on to make it 31 cup wins in a row and another trophy to the Hall.
So Celtic win the League Cup. The general consensus from everyone across the media and online is that Rangers were the better team. Barry, I know you tipped Rangers to win. Do you think they deserve to win?
They certainly played well. That's one of the best performances against Celtic I've seen. But at the end of the day, I would rather play poorly and win a cup and have a medal round about my neck. But look, Rangers have got to take the positives out of it. I thought they were really good over the 90 minutes. I thought there was good performances and they've shown that they can compete with Celtic. So be disappointed because you didn't win the final. It's going to be a hard 48 hours, but they've got to get on, back on the bike quickly. They've got a big game on Thursday and I'm sure they'll try and take the positives out of a good performance.
Yeah, there certainly were plenty of positives. Alison, 16 shots to Celtic's 5, 11 corners to Celtic's 1. How impressed were you by Rangers?
I thought they played very well. I think on another day they won that one quite comfortably. I think Fraser Forster was a difference. I think that he set the tone with that save from Ryan Jack. You think if that goes in the early doors, I think it can go on and be a very comfortable afternoon for Rangers. I think Alfredo Morelos has come in for a bit of criticism given the amount of chances that he missed. I'm not sure how fair that is. I think he kept showing. I think he kept wanting the ball. I think he kept trying to make the saves. I just think on his day yesterday, Forster was the difference. I thought for large periods there were very, very few Celtic players that you would have given pass marks. I thought Christopher Julien grew into the game, but I thought he was quite shaky in the opening minutes. Ayer, I think, grew into the game and then went out to right back when Celtic had gone down to 10. Brown, maybe the last 15-20 minutes as Celtic were hanging on, came to the fore, but I think you look at big players like James Forrest, was very, very quiet by his own standards. El Yunusi, I think, was anonymous for the entirety of the first half, and I think just at opening minutes, Rangers had two corners inside the opening minutes, and I think it just set the tone for an aggressive, energetic performance. On another day, you take something out of it.
Yeah, we're going to come on to Celtic later, but we're just going to start with Rangers. And manager Steven Gerrard couldn't fault his players. He just said the pivotal moments didn't go his side's way.
I thought we were outstanding in terms of our performance. Everything we asked of the players today, in terms of how they approach it and what we wanted out of them. I think to a man I can't be much prouder of them. But finals are decided normally on big moments, and the big moments haven't gone in our favour today.
Roughie, now purely from a Rangers point of view, what more could they have done to win the game?
Probably scored a couple of times.
Yeah.
It would have helped. But
what could they have done to score other than that?
No, I don't think they could have done any more than what they did on the park. I think every player to a man did his bit. Unfortunately, on the day, it just never went for them. The big pivotal point for me was a penalty. If you're given a chance of a penalty and a team going down to 10 men, you've got to score the penalty. You score the penalty, the momentum's with you, and you go on, and would have to say you win the game. You know, that's what it boils down to. But you have to give credit to Celtic for the last 30 minutes. 30 minutes with 10 men against a team that is just going forward all the time and looking to create chances. That's what Neil Lennon will take out of that game, that his team don't really have to play like that at all in the Premier League. They're never under the cosh. So that'll be encouraging that when they are under the cosh, they can see it out.
Yeah, you talk about that impressive 30 minutes. Could questions be asked about Steven Gerrard? There were 30 minutes against 10 men. Were his subs the right subs? Alison, what do you reckon?
I do. Actually, I think that Rangers played better against 11 men than they did with 10. I think the substitution, I think Brandon Barker was a wrong change. I don't think it was effective. I think at that point you really want to see them commit themselves to attack. I know he brought on Defoe too and went to 2 up front, but I think they should have exploited that numerical advantage significantly more than what they did. And I think that's a concern, that there seems to be a game plan at times, and I'm not sure that I've ever seen Steven Gerrard really commit to a change during the game that has an impact on its outcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do see where you're coming from there. Barry, would you have done anything differently if you were the manager?
Yeah, it's easy to say in hindsight, isn't it? Obviously Celtic get down to 10 men, he brings Defoe on. I know Barker might be a strange one to bring on, making that substitution. It's easy to say, but sometimes when you come up against 10 men, the team that's got the 10 have a siege mentality about them. It's difficult. I've come up against it plenty of times in my career, and it's hard to break down. And you've got to give Celtic credit. The last half hour, they really stuck together. They made it tough. And I'm with Alison. I thought up until Celtic got the man sent off, I thought Rangers were really dominant. After that, I thought they struggled to find that decisive pass or make that clear-cut chance. But it's easy to say.
The one for me was Ajer and Kent. When Ajer goes to right back, you think, Kent, big money player, he's performed well in games and at times this season. That's the area of the pitch you think, right, he's going to go and really attack down that flank now. But I actually thought Ajer, who I didn't think started particularly well either, he'd one tackle where he went to ground and Morelos got past him, and I think Forster blocked it with his legs. I think he grew into it. But I thought again for the last 30 minutes he held firm, but I would have expected more from Kent in that situation.
So do you think that was down to Gerrard or Kent himself?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think it was just the way the team had lined up, how Celtic rejigged to cope with it. But I think you should be asking questions as if you're playing against 10 men in a final that you've dominated. I think you expect to turn the screw a wee bit in that situation.
OK, so Celtic did have 10 men. Everyone's in agreement that it was a red card, it was a penalty, but there were other decisions that didn't go Rangers' way, especially the goal, which appeared to be offside. Steven Gerrard has suggested VAR could be used in Scotland to help the officials.
Good question. I mean, I think it's taken something away from the game. So I'd be a liar if I said I'm 100% in favour for it. But one thing I do know is that the officials up here need some support and some help, I think, for sure, because there's too many things, not just for our club, but across the board, that maybe they miss or they need a bit of support on.
VAR seems to be everywhere we look these days when talking about football. Roughie, is it time to have the conversation about having it up here?
I think the conversation would be good, but it's the financial side of it. Not every club can afford to have it. It'd be fantastic. It would take the pressure off the referee, the linesman. But we've seen a lot of VAR decisions that we still can't get our head round. So there's a lot of teething problems there. But in that instance, you would have liked to have thought that VAR would have sorted that out. And I think that's what the Rangers manager's getting at. You know, that that's a massive decision and a big final that you would like to think that the officials would get right.
Yeah. Alison, could the officials be happy with their performance?
I think overall, I think for a free kick, you're probably anticipating that the linesman is in line with it. It's not an open play. I think you maybe expect more. My first viewing live at the game was that it was offside. When I saw it back on the monitor, I still think it was offside. I've seen a lot of Celtic fans talking about it being on and someone's shoulder or arm playing them on. I think he was offside, and I think because of the circumstances around the game, it's the only goal of the game. It wins Celtic a cup in a game that Celtic dominate. I think it just pours huge quantities of salt into the wound. The fact that it's a goal that in other circumstances wouldn't be given. Yeah,
offside's offside, Barry, but you've got to defend the free kick, don't you?
You took the words out of my mouth. It is offside, but you've got to defend it first and foremost. You don't know what the linesman's doing behind you. You've got to concentrate on marking tight and being close to whoever you've been designated to mark. And I thought the manager got it spot on. The defending wasn't good enough. Yes, it's offside, but you've got to defend better than that. As simple as that.
It's actually a better finish than I thought it was as well. When you see it back, he actually
thought
takes
it was
very
Edouard
well.
that had scored it because they were standing right next to each other. But no, it was.
It's a free run. Whoever's marking them is let their marker get away, and you've got to give him credit. It is a very good finish, but he's had far too much space.
Right, finally on Rangers, we've got to talk about Alfredo Morelos. 11 games against Celtic now, no goals. Barry, do you think he's got a mental block when it comes to Celtic games?
No, I just think he came up against really good goalkeeping. That's it. Fraser Forster was in unbelievable form. And look, I thought the chances he had, he got on target. There was a couple that were off target, but it was the angles. They were difficult angles. Albeit he missed the penalty, you'd like to think that he would have stuck that away, but I don't think it's a mental block. I just think he came up against a good goalkeeper on top form, and also he missed a couple of chances where you would probably expect him to score, but I don't think it's a mental block.
Alison, were you happy with Morelos hitting the penalty?
I was surprised. I'm not sure happy would be the word. I expected James Tavernier to take it. Right away, Morelos took the ball. As soon as he went for the ball, you knew he was taking it. Again, I did wonder about that, if it was a spur of the moment thing, and then after the game, both Tavernier and Steven Gerrard both said it had been decided pre-match. I was surprised that he maybe wanted to take it. I think if you've missed that amount of chances in a game against a goalkeeper who was in inspired form, you do wonder, is it not going to be my day today? But he seemed fairly confident when he took the ball. He wanted to take it. I thought it was a poor penalty, I would have to say. Right,
let's go over to Celtic then, and we'll start with Fraser Forster. Nowhere else to begin. Man of the match. Roughie, was it a case that no one could have scored against Forster yesterday?
Well, when you get a save so early in the game, the save that he had, I mean, I know he had a lot of saves after that, but that save for me in particular was a fantastic save. That was going in the top corner. The rest of the saves were all about angles and getting your feet and your body in the right direction, you know, and the reflex save he had at the end as well. So it was all straightforward goalkeeping stuff for me, but you have to do it. You have to come up with the saves at the right time, and that's what he did. He had one of these days that he just didn't look as if he was going to get beaten.
Do you think he could be in with the England recall, Barry?
Well, certainly in that kind of form. I think if the England manager was watching that game, you've got to be impressed with some of the saves he made. He just had a great day, and he thoroughly deserved it. He was the best player on the park.
Yeah, right. Let's have a look at what Neil Lennon said straight after the match.
I made rely on Fraser at times to make some world-class saves, and then he showed great resilience, you know, great mentality, get the goal. Then there's a red card, and then they have to, you know, dig in again. Mikey got a great chance to make it 2-0, but, you know, I'm sure Rangers will say they had some great chances as well in the game, which they did.
Alison, I'm going to come to you with this one. Why do you think Celtic were so poor? People have been saying that it was the worst they've been all season, those first 45 minutes.
I don't know that there's one specific reason for it. I think you have to give credit to Rangers for the way they started. I thought they were very, very aggressive. I thought they went for the jugular straight away from kick-off, just attacking down that left-hand side, forcing the corners. I think within the first 15 minutes he'd won 4 corners. They'd really put Celtic under pressure. I think they tried to not let Celtic impose their style of play on them. I think they wanted to try and take the game to them and force their own game plan on them. And for that first 45 minutes, it was successful. I also think you had a number of big game players for Celtic who just weren't there. They rely so much on their wide players for getting out. I think Forrest just he seemed quiet for a few games. I wouldn't be overly critical either. I think when you play the volume of games that the boy has over the last 2 or 3 seasons, there comes a point where you probably hit the wall. El Yunusi, I thought, just looked off it from the very first few kicks of the ball. I thought he wasn't there at all. And I think their midfield were overrun. I think Rangers almost went with a 3 up front, and Celtic just couldn't get out their half at times, especially in the first half.
Yeah, so Celtic weren't at it, but it's more silverware. It's 31 cup wins in a row for them as well over the last 3 seasons. And it's not only silverware. Neil Lennon believes it will give them a big, big psychological boost going forwards.
Oh, massive. Absolutely massive for them. Massive. Huge psychological lift. This is huge today. I would, we'll have a good week this week. Obviously, we've got the Cluj game, but there'll be a few getting a rest. And psychologically, it is a massive shot in the arm for them under the circumstances.
So Celtic, they will surely be given a boost by that, won't they, Roughie? What do you think that'll do for their league form?
Yeah, it'll give them a boost, but in the light of day, Neil Lennon will have to go away and analyse why Rangers were so dominant in that game, and that'll be something he'll have to get his finger on, because there's another game coming up quite soon. But yeah, the momentum of winning something in the game on Thursday night, the fans will be up for it, the players will be getting in with a lot of confidence. So yeah, it's always positive winning rather than the negative side of it. So yeah, I don't think it'll bother them at all.
Barry, for Rangers, you talked about the positives they have to take, and Thursday's their huge game as well. Yep. Will that affect them perhaps detrimentally in the league?
No, they can't let it happen. As simple as that. Be disappointed. Obviously, you've lost a final against your big rivals, but they've got to take the positives out of it. They've shown that they can compete with Celtic, and the best thing for them is they've got a massive game on Thursday. That's what you would want as a player. They're at home against young boys, full house. That's just go out and make sure you put on a performance.
OK, I'm sure we could have spoken about that game all day, but there's plenty more football to talk about. First of all, here's how you can win our fantastic prize.
If you'd like to win this unique Lionel Messi signed Barcelona top, subscribe to our YouTube channel PLZ Soccer and we'll announce the winner on Friday 20th of December. Good luck!
OK, we're going to go on to Hearts now. At the weekend, they appointed Daniel Stendel as their new manager, giving the German a 2.5-year contract at Tynecastle. Now, Barnsley, his former club, have said they'll open legal negotiations with Hearts. They want compensation. Stendel is still on gardening leave there, but it's needed. They need a manager. Hearts, another loss at the weekend, this time to Motherwell. How important is it they've got someone in, Barry?
Very important. They need to get their house in order. They're going through a real sticky patch, so it was important. I was surprised how long it took, but listen, this is the man they've wanted. They've got him now, so I think the Hearts fans and the Hearts players will be happy that a manager's in, and they'll be looking for a reaction straight away and get a result at the weekend.
Alison, could this the financial implications do anything to the team on the pitch? Start under a cloud almost?
I don't think so. I think Stendel was the man that they wanted right from the start. I think that was who they pursued. I think maybe the fact it's taken so long might suggest that it's more or less done, that those negotiations have been going on for a while. I think players and fans alike will just be delighted to see someone go in, and it's a huge month in terms of fixtures and not going into the break in the precarious position that they are at the minute. They're stuck down at the wrong end. They really desperately need to engineer a way out of that just now, and I think just having a permanent appointment is a huge step towards achieving that.
Yeah, as you said, Hearts are currently joint bottom of the table, as we can see now. They're down there. They're not quite bottom, just on goal difference, but they are in 10th place. Elsewhere, there are big wins for Hibernian, Livingston as well. Very impressive. Roughie, what did you think of Hibs beating Aberdeen 3-0?
Yeah, I thought Hibs were really impressive. They've got a speed merchant back now who's causing problems. He was all over the place at the weekend, and again, the pass for Scott Allen for the first goal was just absolutely magnificent. If that had been anybody else that had done that, everybody would be raving about it. But you can see this pass, and I think the players are now in the same wavelength, because he was making these passes and they weren't on it, you know. But now they know the quality he's got. They can make the runs, and they were just fantastic at the weekend. Again, Darren McManus, you know, will have to have a serious look at that side, and it'll be interesting to see what he does in the January window, because it's just not happening for them.
Mm-hmm. So 3 wins in 5 for Hibs under Jack Ross. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for. You can tune in tomorrow. We'll continue to look at the weekend's action. So that's all from us. Don't forget, you can subscribe to all of our social media channels. You can like and share as well. Thank you to the 3 of you for helping me through. We got there, didn't we? 4 more to go. And thank you to everyone at home as well for watching. We'll see you at the same time tomorrow.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.